Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today we're going to be testing some received barbecue wisdom. You guys have probably heard, and I know I've heard it many times, that once you get to about 165 degrees, you hit the stall, it's time to wrap your brisket so that you finish it earlier. Well, I know in Texas and a lot of other places, they don't wrap their briskets until they're well past the stall. So today we're going to do some taste testing, and we're going to use the blind taste testers here at ThermoWorks. They're only going to know if we have sample A or sample B. We're going to find out, should you wrap when you reach the stall, or should you wrap once you've passed the stall? So for this test, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. Here we have a commodity prime brisket. It's nothing special. We got this at Sam's Club. It's gonna be available all across the country. And the price is $5.98 per pound, which is cheaper than ground beef in a lot of places. So we're not doing anything revolutionary when it comes to the meat, because we're concerned about the method more than the meat itself. And we're gonna season it with just salt and pepper. That's Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt, and 16 mesh black pepper. That's 50-50 by volume. I'm gonna trim these exactly like I would briskets for a restaurant. So again, extremely simple, because we're focused on the one thing we wanna do differently, and that's the wrap time. So I'm gonna get these out of the package, get them trimmed, get them seasoned, get them on. We're gonna start at 200 degrees, and we'll go from there. As you guys may have noticed, we're filming this at the ThermoWorks facility here, and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. If you guys don't know about ThermoWorks, they make the best thermometers on the market. It's not even particularly close. They're also coming out with new products like the Gravitas scale. So if any of those interest you, click on the link in my description and check out what they have. It will change your life. So the last time we saw you was several hours ago. We were getting the briskets trimmed and seasoned. Then we put them on the smoker. And I've been running the fire diligently for quite a few hours now. And we have really nice bark on the outside. And I've been monitoring my RFX probes. And it looks like we've hit a plateau in terms of temperature in these briskets. So I think we're in the stall. It's a little bit lower than what I'm used to, but I usually cook at sea level. And here in Utah, it's over 4,000 feet in elevation, which means that the evaporative cooling is going to be a little different than what I'm typically used to at home. But because I see this plateau, I think, we're in the stall, so I'm gonna get a thermopen. I'm gonna confirm those readings. All right, so after checking with the thermopen, these are definitely in the stall, so it's time to wrap. And I'm gonna wrap these the exact same way. The only difference will be the timing. The reason I'm wrapping them the same way is because I want to try to keep everything consistent except for the one thing under examination. In this case, it's the temperature at which we're going to wrap them. And not only is it the temperature, because the stall is essentially the same temperature for a long time, I'm trying to wrap at the beginning of the stall, which has been the prevailing wisdom in barbecue for a long time. So these are going to get wrapped in butcher paper with a little towel thrown in, because I thought it adds to the richness. It's just my favorite way to do it. And if I did it different ways for each brisket, you wouldn't know what to attribute the differences to. So I'm gonna get this one wrapped up. The brisket that we take and wrap right now will be the one that got wrapped when it reaches the stall, and the other brisket's gonna keep on carrying through, and we're gonna see if we can get a better product, even if it takes a little bit longer. All right, it's been even more hours, but that's the way barbecue cooks go. Food is done when it's done. But I was looking at the RFX, and it looks like about 182 where the RFX probe is. But I'm gonna use my Thermopen 1 to get temperatures around different places of the brisket, because the flat won't necessarily be the same temperature as the point. Anybody who's cooked a brisket before can tell you this. So I want all the temperatures to be around 180 to 185. And when I took a peek earlier, this had all the characteristics that I look for when I wrap a brisket. I want really nice dark bark. I want the fat to be rendered well. I want the fat to be soft. I want the brisket to have shrunk in size enough that I think, okay, the flavor's really concentrated. It's not gonna wash out the bark in the wrap. All those things are in place. The last thing to check is the temperature. So let me do some temperature checking. And if that comes up between 180 and 185, we're gonna wrap this thing up and finish these off. All right, so everything's looking good. Let's get these wrapped up. Okay, we got those wrapped up. They're all wrapped the same way. And remember, what we're testing here is the temperature at which you wrap. Does it have an effect in the final results? And so you don't have to trust my taste buds. You can trust the taste buds of the people who are gonna do a blind taste testing. All they're gonna know is sample A versus sample B. So make sure you stick around to hear those thoughts so you can have a good degree of honest feedback as it relates to what effect this has on the final product. The Rest of the cook is going to be fairly simple. We're going to take them to about 203 degrees to be the right level of tenderness. And I'm going to be able to check with the RFX and the ThermaPen 1. The ThermaPen 1 has the advantage of giving me a tactile response when I poke into the brisket. Does it feel really soft? So it's going to provide me the temperature in under a second, but also the feel of how soft that meat is inside. So when those all line up, when I have a temperature of about 203 degrees and it feels really soft when I stick the probe in, I'm going to take them out and let them cool to about 165 degrees, and then I'm going to rest them overnight like they do in Texas at 145 degrees in the warmer, and we'll check back in with you guys tomorrow morning. All right, we got our 2 briskets. They have rested overnight in the warmer at 145 degrees, and we let the RFX probes in there so that I could monitor the temperature to make sure everything stayed food safe. And sure enough, it did. So let me pull these probes out, unwrap them, and then we're gonna take a look. This right here is the brisket that got wrapped when it reached the stall. The butcher paper is therefore darker because it was exposed to more smoke in the cook chamber before it finished and reached a final temperature. This brisket was wrapped well past the stall, so between 180 and 185 degrees, depending on what part of the brisket we were temping, and it had a lot less exposure to the smoke, so that's why the butcher paper is lighter, though they're both soaked in tallow. Okay, so just subjectively looking at these, the bark on the brisket that we wrap later does look a little bit darker. Here I see a light spot around here and a light spot maybe here. This looks pretty dark, but this is a more even dark color. Another thing I noticed was that this had more tallow in the wrap, the one that was wrapped later. So we won't really know what the full effects are until we cut into these, but the fat on top of the one that was wrapped later does feel softer than the fat on the brisket that was wrapped right when it reached the stall. So let's start with the brisket that got wrapped first and cut some slices, take a look, and give it a taste test. So this one looks nice and juicy, but there's still some firmness to the texture of the muscle. Even though these were taken at the same temperature, they're pulled off with a similar feel. But let's keep going. So re-examine the slice here. Looks pretty good. Looks nice and juicy. The fat here is rendered pretty well. It's not completely translucent, but you can tell that it's been rendered. Also, this fat in the decal right here, it doesn't look bad. Everything really looks pretty good. But sometimes what can appear like moisture is going to be a lot of water, and you don't get the same tactile sensation of moisture when you take a bite. But so far, quite pleased. If I went to a restaurant and somebody served me a brisket that looked like that, I'd be really happy. Brisket 2. In this second brisket, you see how the fat has not just lost its white color, but it's actually yellow. And then it's still juicy. If you look at this, it's juicy, but it's all rendered fat. There's not a lot of water there. And so that rendered fat is gonna lubricate every bite. And so you're gonna think, oh man, this is crazy moist, which is something you really wanna see. It kind of gives it that candy-like crunch on the outside, and it makes it sticky. So if you've ever had a great brisket and the outside bark is sticky, that's why. Also, if you look at this, it actually has a different color than the first brisket. This is kind of a redder color rather than a gray color. So if you compare them side by side, I think you can probably see this. This one was wrapped early, the meat is gray. This one was wrapped after, the meat is kind of reddish gray. So the brisket that we wrapped earlier is tender, but the muscle fibers are still a little bit more taut than this. So this wants to flop over, whereas this kind of holds its shape a little bit more. You can imagine it kind of like a plant. So a plant that's been well watered is gonna be stiff, and it's not gonna be kind of leaning over, but a plant that's dehydrated, it will begin to wilt and lean over. And so if you think of those muscle fibers as kind of channels through which water can move, we've eliminated a lot of this water, which is gonna give it a different texture when you take a bite. So I'm gonna cut a couple pieces off of both of these. I'm gonna taste test them, and then we're gonna bring in 2 additional taste testers who have no idea what we've been doing. All they know is they're gonna try sample A, a brisket, and sample B, a brisket. They're gonna give their thoughts. All right, so these 2 briskets, I think they both look good, but ultimately it comes down to flavor. So I'm gonna cut myself some equivalent pieces here, both from the point, because it's my favorite part of the brisket. And so here I have 1 sample and a second sample, and we're gonna give these a shot here. So first, I'm gonna try the brisket that we wrapped way after the stall at about 180 to 185 degrees, and then let's talk about it. It's nice and smoky, it's juicy, the fat's rendered really well, You get the right amount of kind of bark flavor to the flavor of the beef on the inside. It's really nice. I mean, there's a reason I cook them that way when I normally cook brisket. So let's compare it to an earlier wrap. Maybe it's juicier, maybe it's better. Let's see if the flavor is any different. To me, noticeably less flavor. It's not as concentrated in terms of the beef flavor. The smoke doesn't show up quite as much. And the individual muscle fibers, rather than breaking when you take a bite, they want to kind of flatten out, almost like if you had a bunch of toothpicks and you put pressure on the top and the toothpicks kind of flatten out. That's kind of what the muscle fibers want to do, even though these were pulled at the same final temperature. Another issue that arises from that, I think, is this seems drier. Even though there's more H2O, apparently, or at least visually it appears that way, in each bite, the perception of moisture, I think, is better in the brisket that got wrapped later because we were able to render the fat a little bit more. But these are my subjective impressions, and I already know which way I like to cook brisket, so I could be completely biased. So in order to get some other taste buds involved here who have no idea how we cook these, let's bring in a couple blind taste testers, and they're gonna give their thoughts. So Shalise here has volunteered as tribute. She's gonna be doing the taste test. All she knows is that this is sample A, and this is sample B. I cut them from the same third slice of brisket from the point. And so any kind of differences will just be subjectively what she tastes when she takes a bite. So I'll leave these here and you do your thing and tell us what you think.
All right. That's really good. It's really, really tender and very juicy. Not dry at all. There's a little bit of a peppery taste, but still a little bit of a smoky flavor, not super heavy on the smoke though. This one is not as juicy as this one. Still very tender. Not as intense flavor, but still tastes excellent.
All right, our second taste tester has no idea what we did to these briskets other than we smoked them. And you guys probably know her. This is my wife, Erica, who films almost all of my videos. But today, at the ThermalWorks Test Kitchen, she gets to be a spectator. And I think that's probably a little bit more fun. So her only job today is to eat some brisket. So not a bad day. So this is one of the samples. This is the second sample. I want you to try them both. And then just tell me about whatever your impressions are. If you like things, if you don't like things. And once you try the second sample, you can compare them. Which one is juicier, which one is smokier, which one is more flavorful. Whatever it happens to be that's different, you just let us know.
Sounds good. Okay, the meat itself is slightly dry, if I'm saying it, but the fat renders perfect and still makes it feel juicy. And it's delicious.
All right, ready to try it for sample 2 or sample B, whatever we're calling it?
I think the smoke is about the same. Sample A seemed to have better fat render. Sample B, the fat was a little bit more solidified and I could feel the fat more as a solid in my mouth. But I think I like sample A better.
So big thank you to Shalise and Erica for being our blind taste testers, and extra big thank you to my wife. I have to live the rest of my life with her, so love you. Anyway, I think the impressions that they got were very similar to what I experienced when I was taking these bites. So your mileage may vary, but I think there's a reason why a lot of the top restaurants in Texas take their briskets past the stall before wrapping. And there's also a reason why a lot of people had the prevailing wisdom of you reach 165 and you wrap it, because they're trying to get the cook done sooner rather than trying to get the absolute optimal result. Whatever your choice, I think these are both really, really tasty briskets. Just do what works for you, and whatever you like is the right answer. So if this video has been helpful to you, hit the like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on all other social media platforms at Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'll see you guys next time.